All right, JAG University, episode 17. Kev, we're talking about personal umbrellas and the assumption that you need to have a certain amount of net worth to have an umbrella.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like it's the estate attorneys that are our biggest advocate, right?
Yeah, you see a lot of the wealthier clients, they all carry them, but I mean, that's not just who needs a personal umbrella.
Well, define what a personal umbrella is.
Okay, so an personal umbrella policy is a liability policy that extends over your schedule of other personal liability policies. So let's say you have a homeowners, you have car insurance, you have a marine or a boat policy with liability limits.
Maybe a rental property,
maybe a rental property or two. That personal umbrella is going to bring all of those limits up to either $1 million or $2 million, $3 million, for whatever, and essentially provide blanket coverage over those policy limits to make sure that you have enough insurance in case anything happens.
And in case any of those underlying policies get exhausted.
Yeah, exactly.
So just drop down an example. Usually your homeowner's policy has $300,000 personal liability. If something were to happen, zero deductible, the umbrella drops down. Why do you think just most people don't have it? I know we talked about maybe we use quote unquote the wealthier clients, which I don't know, obviously what that even means, right? But I would argue that if you have more to lose by not having it as well. Look at auto insurance. I think when we talked about auto way back, about increasing, most people assume lease limits is sufficient protection, right? If I'm in an at-fault accident. But man, catastrophic issues, there's so many bad things that can happen on insurance policies. I mean, auto specifically, right? That accident that, your $300,000 gets exhausted, you have no excess coverage over it. I mean, that's a financial disaster for anybody.
Yeah. And every time we talk about a policy like this, whether it be auto liability or flood or now an umbrella, it's always a low cost policy that's providing a lot of value that no one's forcing them to buy. So a huge amount of people aren't buying them.
And I think it's the overall thought process that it's never going to happen to me.
Yeah.
But I have insurance and I'm not going to pay more insurance. I never use it. I've never been in an accident. So they kind of push it away.
Yeah. And it's like an umbrella policy. I mean, most of the time for $1 million in coverage, you're paying less than $1,000 a year.
And actually probably even less. If you don't have any young children who are driving.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you now, if anybody has young drivers living at home, and if you don't have a personal umbrella, you're going to have a problem with me.
Yeah.
You got me in the parking lot. I'm your insurance agent, and I'm going to convince you why you should have it. And I'm serious because it's one of those things where, man, it's happened time and time where, think about, and I remember being a young driver, right? Let's be honest. There's a reason why young drivers pay more money than insurance.
It's a lot of close calls.
Everyone's always asking, why is my 16-year-old son or daughter, why did my rate go up double? Well, statistically speaking, you're going to get in a claim, right? Yeah. And when you're at fault, it's not even you, but what do you have people in the car? I have multiple instances that's happened where you have a young driver, exciting time, picking up friends in the car, going out during the day, they get in an accident, the at-fault driver is going to be liable. And we're all friends, everybody's friends, right? We're all best friends until, God forbid, something happens to my kid and you're liable for. Attorneys come in, that limit's not going to be enough. I mean, I hate to use that as a scare tactic, but I've seen it happen. And umbrellas are the ultimate peace of mind. I mean, I whenever I see that and we're looking at the whole insurance narrative, I tell people, and I say it obviously in a more political way, but it's you need to get an umbrella. I mean, you have your young drivers out there. They're moving targets, especially where we live.
Yeah, you have that. And even when you have kids, I mean, what if you're having birthday parties at your house? What if you have a pool?
The old play date.
The
old play date.
Little kids, you lose track of them. I mean, I don't want to get into morbid situations here, but ultimately, I mean, at least having $1 million in coverage shouldn't be something that only, people who weren't a financial planner are exploring. It should be anybody that has kids, anybody that, has any sort that owns a home and has cars. They should consider having $1 million.
You have more to lose. I mean, go back to it. I mean, so we can run off through plenty of scenarios. What about the issue? What about the animal bite, right? The animal liability issue at home. Friends come over, play date. Your dog might bite somebody. I mean, it just happens so much that, and there's so many moving parts, unfortunately, that the overall theme is that a personal umbrella gives you that ultimate protection.
Yeah.
Everyone always says it. And then you have the other thought process. Oh, if I buy more insurance, I'm more of a target. That's not true. You want to take that risk? Right? What about a boat claim? I mean, going on a boat, the disappointing part about boats is, and we'll get into that a different topic, is that it's not even a legal requirement to have boat insurance,
Yeah.
which still blows me
It's
away.
insane.
Captain Kevin's on the, buys a boat tomorrow, no experience, and you're out there. I mean, so because of all these, and that's one part of it, not having these multiple moving parts, you need to make sure that you have insurance. Protect yourself as much as anything else to avoid relying on other people as well.
Yeah, so it's, you have a bunch of insurance policies that you've had to buy for one thing or another. I bought a house, I bought a car, I have a rental property, what have you. An umbrella policy is one way that you can put a bow on all of it and make sure that your exposure through your daily life is covered sufficiently.
Right.
Either whether it be $1 million or $2 million or $3 million, you're taking all those policies and now you're making them adequate for a worst case scenario situation.
One other thing too is when we talk about the umbrella, it does extend over your underlying policies. How many scenarios happen that most people don't know? Your primary policy, your HO3, that personal liability does extend outside your home. I mean, there's instances that happen. I mean, unfortunately, you might be out. I mean, situations where something might happen in a restaurant, right? On vacation, you got altercations. I mean, they're gonna come after you.
Yeah.
The umbrella. I mean, it's not a license to do whatever you want, but again, for whatever reason now, I think more than ever, we just fall into this more litigious type environment that the umbrella is what kind of gives you that ultimate peace of mind.
And I think it's a situation where it's like your overall personal insurance portfolio, I find it very rare that an umbrella would account for more than 5 or 10% of the total premium you're paying. And that policy is doing a lot for you.
Actually, there's also some carriers, you'll get a multi-line discount.
Yeah. So it's
right?
like
so you're going to save what you're going to pay on an umbrella, you're going to save on your auto insurance.
You're already spending this much money on insurance, and all you need to do is take that to here. And now all of your limits are covering disaster scenarios that they weren't before.
Right.
To me, it sounds like a no-brainer. And even so, it's not a lot of premium. It's simple. The policies renew easily. It doesn't take a lot of work. Your agent already manages everything. Will be able to just quote it right away. And it's something that people are going to have to explore on their own because nobody's making them buy it.
Right. And that's one of the things about changing this mindset of people buying insurance still. We talked about flood before. Multiple things is they just feel they're not required to buy it. They don't buy it. And they got to kind of through education, through conversations, and it's a catch-22. They got to be open with us. We're open with them.
Yeah.
We can help educate and really, advocate for the ultimate peace of mind and getting that personal umbrella.